Is digital technology a false revolution? By William Cashmere.
John Belton theorizes that digital technology was a false revolution, arguing that for it to be properly digital, it should be digital for the audience. When you pick up a visual or digital communication device, the difference between putting down the technology and holding on is dependent on its effectiveness as a discourse of synergy, which allows the audience contingent to make interpersonal connections with different digital and visual discourses. This video essay seeks to apply Belton's academic theory through the lens of what is conceptualized in today's technological landscape as digital visuality, and examine whether or not the questioned revolution has achieved what it set out, specifically to transform and expand discourses of digital technology. I will additionally aim to assess his theory through considering different discourses such as convergence, fandom, cinema, and image sharing, as well as by comparing different contextual periods such as the World Fair era to today.
It is indisputable that society has progressively reached a digital era, in that several new communication formats are being introduced by new communication technologies, to which it is a presumptive expectation that audiences inevitably sustain an absolute connection with specific visual discourses. Digital production entertains the notion that as a means of communication, digital visuality has become a social spectacle based on how audiences aesthetically perceive the technology. Today, mediated discourses of digital technology is expressed to the audience on account of principles of continuity, systemness, and linearity. However, Belton appraised that discourses of audience practically control the function of digital media as an effective platform with the modern digital revolution, as without audience interaction and cooperation, visual and digitalized discourses remain one-dimensional. He maintains that within discourses of cinema especially, digital technology remains a linear rather than interactive expression for audiences, although this perspective can be implemented to describe many other forms and mediums of visual discursive practices. Belton's academic theory infers that digital technology must act as a vehicle which sustains the relationship between interactive audiences who are interconnected with convergence. To continue with Peter Quitt's implementation of convergence as the ability to extend across multiple platforms and dictate the effectiveness of the technology across different contextual periods, this is represented through Eduardo Moretton's emphasis on cinema's initial function as a digitalized discourse which became a social phenomenon through its influence as an entertaining device of communication whilst becoming a mode of education in the pre-World War I World Fair era. Cinema had the crucial role during times of global conflict to represent social and cultural harmony, allowing audiences to achieve greater personal connections with the technology and its message. Compare this to today's cinematic approach, where the basic aim is to direct the attention of audiences to a subject and emotionally impress them for a heightened commercial gain, and it is apparent that the digital visuality of today neglects the opportunity for multi-purpose experiences for audiences interacting with visual and digital technology. Moreover, as an interpersonal and ritual discourse of digital visuality, image sharing should be considered a significant mediated presence for those choosing to interact with it, as it can reinforce the subject's individuality. However, Villi and Socchetti argue that it is an inconclusive medium for audiences or users as a result of conflicting intentions of how to employ photos as an effective discourse of communication. Whereas Henry Jenkins' study realizes that fandom as a discourse represents the keenness of audiences to interact with convergent technology, as he states that the appeal of fandom is acknowledged through empathetic connections instead of localities. This is a rather relevant reflection of digital visuality in today's contextual technological growth, as the lack of interactive opportunities offered to audiences supports Belton's claims that digital technology has indeed fostered through a false revolution. So is digital technology a false revolution? Has it achieved its goals? From analysing Belton's academic theory with the contextual comparisons of digital visuality in discourses of convergence, fandom, cinema, and image sharing, I'm of the position that yes, digital technology has become a misguided revolution, which still requires considerable improvement. This is because as a landscape, digital technology continually fails to recognize audience interaction as the indispensable condition that foresees the potential for it to expand and become a
Richard, what do
transformed
I do when
discourse.
it's finished?
For discourses of digital technology,
What do I do when it's
appeal
finished?
consistently plummet, unless it undertakes the process of providing more avenues of audience interaction,
Almost.
or risks the different mediums and forms of digital visuality becoming stagnant and one-dimensional.
How do you know all this stuff, Mitchell?